What is going on, guys? My name is Jack. JSO, doesn't matter what you call me. And today I am putting in a Koyorad 36mm freaking radiator. Let's go. I'm so hyped.
Yeah, style crazy, my life amazing. So yeah, style crazy, my life amazing. Yeah, style crazy, my life amazing. Still fuck the world, I'm on a spaceship. We going places. When I die, I'ma be in the matrix. My dream is weightless. Told me fuck it till I came in. I guess I caved in. Tell me quit, you fucking basic bitch. So I should shit on competition. I'm confident you tweaking drugs or inconfidence.
So chilling right next to me is the 36mm Hyper Series Koyorad radiator that has a lot of like little extra goodies. You can get them on Miata for around 300 bucks. It has different thread pitch, you know, different type of fins, all that jazz. And it was the best bang for your buck. And what's great about it, it has space saving. Since it's a 36mm, I will be able to rock the stock fans. It bolts right to the back there, all plug and play, and it's gonna work perfect for my setup. I was kind of worried about going aftermarket radiator because my stock fans will definitely come in contact with the intercooler piping, but with this guy right here, I will completely be able to run stock fans, have no issues with fitment, and it's gonna get the cooling dialed in which I need, because ever since this thing hit the dyno, the temps on really hot days are through the roof, and that can't be happening. And it's a Miata. I want to drive this thing in the nice weather, in 90-degree weather, sweating my balls off, because why not, right? So let's get to this install. I'm super pumped. So as some of you may have, seen my setup and everything, it's not the cleanest engine bay in the world. It's very clear as day. This is started as a budget build. It was a 1.8 swap. It was wired a little bit funky. There's tons of rats and that's bullshit. But it works. It works, which that's what matters to me. And it rips. I have a good time with it. So right here, what I have to do is I'll have to obviously undo all the fans. Undo this, get rid of the upper radiator hose, move all this around, and undo some more bolts, and then it will pop right out super easy. So let's get to completely draining the coolant system, and then from there we will drop in the new one. So pumped with this new radiator for multiple reasons, but one of them is that it's going to have a functional drain plug. The previous owner on this car actually stripped the drain plug on the stock rad, so I basically got it as tight as I possibly could, and then I just undo it from the lower radiator hose, which gets extremely tedious and super annoying that I have to undo that every single time. And sometimes, I don't torque it enough, so let's get it on there, under there. Let's go. Always so fucking messy. Bear with me today. I'm recording by myself, so I don't have the easy angles and stuff like that, so everything's just gonna be POV and probably very poor angles on this install. All right, so she is all drained out, I hope. Time to get all the other hoses off and fans off and everything else. Let's get it. This thing is due for a change. Thankfully I have some extra hose, so we'll put that on. thing has seen better days. And I guess the previous owner thought it was a good idea to throw some zip tie through the front of it. So this thing's definitely seen better days. So we were so due for a new setup, and I am so hyped because this should drop in relatively quickly. And you know what? Let's get going. Sitting there, look at that. I mean, my engine bay is gross, but this is gonna make it look so much better. I've seen some radiators like go out like this far. So I'm pretty hyped. This is going to sit super nice. Fans are gonna fit in so easily. This is gonna be unbelievable. I'm so hyped. Let's go. This is why you always have, you know, collect your extra hardware and like have a hardware drawer, because like basically what happened is I always use zip ties on my last radiator to like hold it in place at one spot, but this time I want to do it the real way, and it turns out the threads on a Miata for that also the same threads for a 225 turbo manifold. So these guys right here work perfect, and now it's not as sketchy as it was before. So that is such a fucking perk. The more I own this thing, the longer I own it, whatever, the more legit it becomes, the less sketchy it becomes, and I'm happy with that. You know, it's a budget build. It's fun. It's how it's all about learning. All right, so now these little bolts right there that I found, they're in. So now let's just throw the fans on and let's get going. Oh my God. Why is this like the easiest install ever? Everything usually never goes my way in this car. Don't jinx it. Fuck, don't jinx it. Perfect. Freaking lineup went in easier. I actually have more clearance with this radiator than I had in the stock. That's pretty cool. Awesome. All right, so game plan for me is I'm going to line up the fans from under the car first, and then we'll attack it from the top, and then we'll throw the lines on and get some water in this thing. I'm only gonna run distilled water. This is beautiful. I'm not gonna freaking throw coolant in this thing. It's the summer. I'm throwing distilled water into this. All right, let's get it. Fans are hand tightened. Let's torque this down. Within 20 minutes, this new radiator is already in. Fans are all in. Awesome. So now actually what I'm going to do is I have new coolant line for the upper rad, and I am going to cut it up in half and throw a little adapter for a coolant temp gauge that I actually wired in yesterday. I make a video on that. Wiring's not that interesting, so that's already in the car. So all I need to do is run the sensor wire all the way in through here, and then rewire it so it works with the sensor, ground the sensor, and then we'll have a working temp gauge, which is extremely important now that I'm making a little bit more power. But let's get to it. I'm so hyped, so hyped. So when I broke down after dyno day. Basically what happened was one of my coolant hoses ripped wide open, and I wanted something quick, a quick and easy fix. So I went to AutoZone, got 30 millimeter worth of any sort of coolant hose I could find with bends that I'm looking for, and then I, fixed the lower radiator. What I did today is I actually took the other half that I cut down to size and put it right here. Now this is pretty much perfect length. It's the correct size. And then now I have to fit this glow shift adapter for the glow shift temp sensor that I put into it with the MPT sensor right here, roughly around there. Roughly around there. And then we will route these wires somewhere else. But now we'll get to that. All right, so we're gonna tighten down these two right here, these two clamps. Throw this in between there, and then clamp them both down. Fan of how this side currently sits. It's just a week waiting to happen. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to slice a little bit off this side to give this side a little bit more play, because it's just so, this side is a lot more relaxed and this side is just so tight and kinked. So let's not do that. So I cut it, and that's definitely a lot nicer of a fit. So let's tighten down all these clamps here and have this thing ready to go. There's always a catch to things, like basically this clamp that's came with the freaking glow shift kit. Yeah. Broken in half. With that breaking, that's another reason why you should always have, like extra clamps around, extra anything, because shit breaks, man, especially from these Chinese bullshit and just any parts in general. Things break, so it's always smart to have extras. All right, so it looks like the other one held up a lot better. This one, that should be good. There should be no leaks here. It's clamped down. Thankfully I had an extra, so that's most definitely clamped down. So this is all set up. We are going, we are going to now clamp down the bottom lower radiator hose, and that's gonna be it for the video, to be honest. All right, so time to put the lower radiator hose in, and then the new radiator will be in. All right guys, so it's already getting a little bit dark here. I started off the work day and I had a quick workout, so it's already getting, a little bit darker. So thank you guys so much for watching. Quick little install of the new Koyorad 36mm V-Series radiator. I can't wait to see how good this does, and of course I'm going to update you guys in future videos on how it does. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and of course subscribe. So much more coming to this car, it's nuts. So yeah, thank you guys again, and have a great night /day/ whenever this gets posted.